It's the final percent. The final percent.
All right, we are live with the Final Percent podcast. It is Monday. We're right before, I was going to say Thanksgiving. We're right, holiday season, right? We've got family in town. All kind of starts meshing together. We're right before Christmas, so I decided that I really wanted to get somebody on the podcast so that we could have a discussion about, you know, balance and just being able to kind of go through this crazy thing called life and family and friends and social life, all while trying to build a business. And so I wanted to bring somebody on, but it turns out with everybody doing the last minute shopping thing, it has been really difficult to be able to get somebody on because our original guest was, doing last minute shopping. So they bailed on me, but no worries. I think everyone understands. But who we're gonna talk to today is a guy named Jay Palmer, and he's a good friend of mine. We met on a golf course, and he's one of those. He's just a special person. I've actually talked to a lot of his employees, and they have really just raved about him in a way that I have not seen someone get praise from their employees in a long time. And it really is a testament on who this guy is. He owns, I think, 9 Floyd's barbershops, and he's an all-around great person, epic business person. And so what we're going to do is we're going to call him. Hopefully the thing is synced properly. We're going to call him, and we're just going to kind of talk shop about, hey, how did you get started? What are some of the hurdles? How do you balance family life? Because if you've been listening to my podcast for a while, I have this snowplow principle, and it really helps to talk to other people who have been able to get the job done. Talk to other people who have been quote unquote successful. And so I just want to bring as many people who are able to tell their story from the middle, because I'm sure he's not going to stop at 9. I'm sure whenever he quote unquote retires, I'm sure he's probably going to end up with, hundreds of these locations. You never know. I mean, he's a true entrepreneur. He's a great guy. And I think that we can all learn a lot from him. So I'm going to bring him on. We're going to call him now. And it should be fun. It's funny because I was just texting him back and forth, and he said, is there anything that I should know before we start? And I just said, pretty standard stuff. We'll just talk about entrepreneur things. And so this has the potential of being an extremely candid conversation. He's a very candid type of guy. And so I think it'll be fun to get his perspective on things. So here we go.
Hello.
Hey, there he is. Jay.
Greg, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for popping on my show. It's been a struggle trying to get someone to guest, and I was just like, who we should call, who always comes through? Jay Palmer.
Thanks, Greg. I appreciate you thinking of me that way.
Oh, absolutely. Well, so I gave you a little bit of an intro on the show before we started, and talked to them about how you just opened your 9th Floyd's Barbershop. And kind of some of the things I want to talk about is just, obviously, we've got a lot of business owners out there who listen to the show who they think about managing one business or one location and getting up to 9. What are some of the things that you would recommend to people when they're opening another location? Because I'm sure when you went from 1 to 2, it was a learning experience, and now you're at so many. what are some of the things from a family's perspective, a business perspective? What are some of the things that you're experiencing or you did experience that you could let people know about, whether it's your family life, your social life, managing locations with employees at so many different places? What are just some of the things that you have to unpack every single day to get the job done?
Well, great question. I think, early on, having the right personnel is key. Finding the right people to take, leadership positions for you, where you trust and you feel they'll make the right decision for you. We immediately went from one store to 3 stores within 12 months.
Oh, awesome.
And it was rapid growth, and we struggled. I did have some very quality people managing the locations for me, as I would bounce around to all the stores and really put the time in and spend the time in the locations. I also, time management is difficult, and I have a unique ability to get up at 3 a.m. and function like a normal human being. So that helps. I was able to get a lot of the admin done in the morning, find time for myself, whether it was going to the gym or going for a bike ride. And then, during that time, if I'm, on a run or a long ride, I could think about the challenges for the day, and rather than make a brash decision, have some time and clear mindset to come up with the right choice. And those were, for me, that was key, having time for myself. And then, just being able to communicate with your people. I mean, that's the big thing. And for me, I've got almost 200 employees now, and they're all very unique. All of them are different. Some are families, some are single mothers, some are single young, adults out there having the time of their life. So, trying to help them get through life and navigate is part of it. Being able to, listen to them, show some empathy are key as well. So, you got to have an open mind and be willing to do things outside of the box and make decisions on the fly.
Absolutely. Well, I will say, just because it was funny. We were on the golf course one day, for everyone listening, and he found out that I get my hair cut at Sports Clips or something, and he very quickly put an end to that. So I now will proudly say that I only, and my nephew as well, we only get our haircuts at Floyd's. But I'm always interested when I find another entrepreneur and another businessman, and you can find a lot about who the person is behind the business by talking to their employees. And I will say that every person, from management to hairdresser, everyone who's come through your store that's on your payroll, I've talked to them about you, and they all have said that you are the best boss that they have ever had and have ever worked for. So that's a big testament on who you are, buddy.
I appreciate that. I may have given them a bigger bonus to say that, but it's all good.
Well, so from what you and I've talked about privately, you've said you're going to go into a holding pattern just for a little bit, really get the strength of these stores up. In the future, are you thinking about expanding even further?
We are. We part of the holding pattern really is to see these guys ramp up and grow a little bit in sales. Just to make it a little bit more comfortable for us to go through that growth process. We feel there are some areas here in northern Colorado along the Front Range, along I-25 corridor, that would be just fantastic for Floyd's. Mm-hmm. And Frederick, Firestone, Erie, those are some specific areas that we like. Could we see one in Louisville? Maybe. It might be a little close to my Lafayette and my Superior location. It just depends on the growth that we're seeing in Colorado. Mm-hmm. There's possibility of some mountain towns as well as Wyoming. Oh, yeah. So we have lots of opportunity, and we've we're excited, to say the least. We have we're going to keep going as long as we can, and keep having fun doing it.
Well, that's exciting. I think that it's no coincidence that when I said what are some of your success and how did you do this, you talk about your people immediately, and when they were talking to me, they absolutely feel that from you. So great job on your leadership there. What are some of the things that when you were, did you ever have one of those moments that, because when I'm talking to business owners and I'm coaching them or I'm helping people on social media, so many people want to just always pretend that it's okay. Did you ever have those moments where you just kind of got up one day and you were just like, what the heck am I doing? This is harder than I thought, or whatever. And what brought you back to believing in your vision?
There's absolutely been times where that has happened. I think it was late 2008.
I heard that time was easy for all businesses.
Yeah, it was real easy. We were building our third store, and we had an SBA loan, and we were, as they small business owners will know, when you have an SBA loan, you have to put in your own equity before they start funding the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we were, $100,000 into a construction job when the bank pulled out of the loan.
Oh.
And here we are with two other stores that we just opened. All are still in that growth ramp up period, and we didn't have the funding that we needed. So we had some options in front of us. None of them were great. One of them was shutting down everything, and that was it. So we made a decision to keep moving forward. And really, what I did is I just had to take a big breath. And I had to focus on doing one thing at a time. As far as all the issues we had going on, whether it was coming up with the money for payroll or the construction, paying taxes, because this was in October. So, there was a lot going on, and all of them were big issues. And, all together, they seem like you can't overcome them. But when you start just focusing on one at a time, and just trying to come up with a solution for each one individually. And, over time, we were able to solve all of them. I think we may have upset the IRS, but we took care of that. But we did everything we needed to do. We kept all the stores open. We got the store open.
Nice.
And the options that we used weren't great, but we had a solution, and we worked it out with everyone, and everyone came out in the end happy. And it was stressful,
yeah,
but we did it.
There's a reoccurring thing in all entrepreneurial people, and it's not the people who are unbelievably smart or just come from a family of means, or you have these people who are have just a ton of money or all these things. The kind of the secret sauce that I found in true entrepreneurs is just sheer perseverance. And I love how you said, well, I just focused on one thing at a time and just started knocking them down. I think focus is really key, being able to put your head down and just get stuff done.
I agree with you. And it does take, this goes back to one of the things that I do that I enjoy, and that is taking that time for myself and getting out, whether it's on the road, on a bike ride, or on a trail run. But having that time to myself to work through the problem is key. And if you're not finding or giving yourself the time, you're going to have a hard time being successful.
Well, that's the truth. So on the family side of things, I've seen when we were at the club the other day, and I saw the wonderful suit that your kid was wearing. I thought that was pretty awesome. Watching your relationship is pretty special. Tell me a little bit about what it's like being a dad, but also being a full-blown entrepreneur. How do you balance those two things?
It's gotten easier as we've gotten bigger. I know that sounds crazy, but some of the benefits of taking the risks and putting in the time is you build these relationships where you have great people around you, and again, I getting time easy, but by 2 or 3 p.m. and still have the time to be go to movies with my son or go take my daughter on driving lessons, which is terrifying. But all of these things, all of these things are manageable. When you have the right people around you, you put the time in. And obviously, it's easy to do fun things with your kids when you love them. So that
Absolutely.
helps.
Well, that's cool. If there's one takeaway, like what is there a reoccurring thing or a reoccurring theme that you like to tell your employees, whether it's when things get hard or is it a certain sales thing, customer service? What is the theme behind the training that you do with your employees? Give us a Palmerism, if you will.
I do like I like to talk about the industry itself as far as customer service goes and what we are doing. Customer service is the bare minimum. Anyone can do it. Answering the phone and saying hello, you're putting in a little bit of effort. But what we like to talk about is really being in the hospitality industry and treating people like they're in your own home. So one of the things that we've been talking about is just say yes. Say yes as often as you can to as many people as you can for 2 reasons. One, it's fun to do. I like doing things for people who, they just don't expect that service. And so if you can say yes, if it's something outside the box that we normally do, but seems like it's reasonable, then go for it. I mean, if someone's asking you for a tattoo, obviously don't say yes because we don't do that. But, it's just really simple things. I mean, just trying to go out of your way to make someone's day. The lesson I talk about is, you might have the worst day. Let's say you've got some family issues going on or personal issues, and you walk in that door and you're really upset. If you focus on giving the best service that you can and trying to make everybody's day, by the time you walk out of there and you've had 10 clients and they all walk out thinking, man, I look like $1 million. I feel amazing. And they're, appreciative of the work that you've done. You're going to walk out at the end of the day feeling amazing, regardless of how bad your day started. And that's kind of what we talk about, just have fun, say yes, and try to make people look beautiful.
Have fun, say yes, and try to make people look beautiful. Let's be honest. That's the key to your success right there. Have fun, say yes, make people look good. I mean, come on. No wonder why you're so freaking successful. That's a great business model.
Well, we try to have fun, and it is a unique line of work that we're in. I mean, if you really think about it, there's very few professions out there where you get to have the intimacy where you can touch someone's shoulder or you're within most people's acceptable range of closeness.
Yeah, you're inside the bubble.
Yes, the proximity is tight, and but you do have that option. It's just most people, most professions don't have that, and so you can really make a difference and make an impact. And it's just something to think about.
Well, I think that's great. Honestly, thank you so much for coming in and doing this so last minute. I'm not kidding, guys. I messaged him on Facebook and he said yes. Hey, weird thing. It's all coming full circle. He said yes, and 3 minutes later we were on the phone. So, Jay, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. And a shameless plug, guys. I absolutely go to Floyd's, and they are like especially his locations, I'm telling you, they are an absolute winner, and they do make you feel good. They do make you look beautiful, probably more beautiful than I have any business looking, but it's all thanks to his business model. And just honestly, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, you bet, Greg. Thank you. And, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and hope you have a fantastic couple of days here.
Oh, I definitely will. I'll see you soon, buddy. You take care.
Yes, sir. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Well, that's Jay Palmer for you. Now you can see why I think he's so epic. I mean, his business model is say yes, make people feel good, and make people beautiful. I mean, he's going to go far. So, again, I know that some of his locations, he has one in Longmont, one in, I think they just opened one in Loveland, the Lafayette location, Superior location, Boulder location. He actually has two in Boulder. But honestly, go see him. Go check out what they're doing, because he runs a great operation. The culture is unlike any place where I've ever gotten my haircut. So, but I hope maybe pulling back the curtain a little bit and letting you know what he's all about helps you understand certain things that can truly change your business, help you become successful as well, and of course, go the final percent and find that exponential part of life. This has been Greg Kimball and Jay Palmer with the Final Percent Podcast. Thank you so much, and happy Monday, and of course, Merry Christmas.
It's the final percent. The final percent.